Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to session 10 of the RIAK Total Workout series. This is actually the final session in the series, so hopefully it's going to be a fun one. For anybody that is new to these sessions, just quickly run over kind of what we're doing. So this is one of our strength and conditioning workshops. It's kind of a pared down, shorter, kind of slightly punchier session than our normal strength workshops, which are usually quite kind of coaching heavy, purposely so, giving athletes knowledge and teaching them how to do things properly is kind of our thing. But we've just slightly paring down the session, so it's a little bit less coaching than might otherwise be. It's around 30 to 40 minutes long, and we flow through it pretty quickly. In terms of equipment that you will need for the session, the main things you'll need are a resistance band like this one from Sundried, a pair of kind of heavier dumbbells, and then a pair of lighter dumbbells if you've got them. And just remember, there are always alternatives that you'll be able to find around the house you can use. We do have a video on our website which kind of just runs through a few ideas that you can use. One of the key ones is often a backpack full of books or something like that. Anything to add a little bit extra loading, and in particular for some of the leg exercises, if you want to make them really hard, then chucking a backpack full of stuff on your back can really kind of make some of these exercises proper punchy. Okay, so yes, a mini band, a set of heavier dumbbells, and a set of lighter dumbbells, and that's it. No other paraphernalia required for this session. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we'll get started, shall we? So what we're going to do, we're just going to start off actually on our feet. We'll go to one end of your mat. Let me get my timer ready so I know how much I'm overrunning by. Usually the waffle. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back into a reverse lunge. So just searching back with one foot and then going right down until my knee just taps the floor, and then we're driving back up. Okay, so all the drive comes from the front leg. I did that a little bit slowly, which actually made it a bit more awkward than it should be. You're just going to step back and then driving up. Okay, we're just going to do 10 of these on each side. So 2, 3, just going a little bit further and dropping a bit lower with each one. 4, just looking to open up the hips a little bit with this one. 5, keep that chest upright. 6, looking forwards. 7, driving through that front leg, remember. 8, think about driving through the heel on the front leg. 9, and 10. Okay, then we go on to the other side. Don't go too far back for the first couple, and then start to search backwards with that foot. We're also kind of waking up your coordination. That's 3. And your balance. So don't worry if you find it a little bit challenging to begin with. Just kind of getting your coordination balance for deception. Waking up. 7. 3 more. Driving through that front foot, remember. Okay, last one. Okay, cool. Then we're just going to go down onto the floor. Just do kind of like an activation / mobility exercise. So we're going to what's called the 90-90 position. We did this in the last session. Well, the setup at least. So what you're going to do is have one leg, that's my left knee forwards, bent to 90, right knee comes up to the left heel. Okay, and this is quite a tricky one. So you want to put your hands up in the middle. This kind of give you like your it's not your center of gravity as such, but it's kind of like it's where you're centered. And then what you're going to do is you're going to try and switch onto the other side. So I'm going to turn around a little bit just so I don't fall off the mat. Basically, whilst keeping your bum on the floor, just moving to the other side like that. You might have heard there was just a little click in my hip when I did that, and basically what we're trying to do is kind of wake up those hips a little bit and just kind of loosen them off a little bit. I did run this morning, so it's not totally surprising that I'm creaking. Okay, so start whichever side you want. I'm going to start back on my left, and we're just going to transition from one side to the other. We're going to do 5 to each side, so 10 in total. Okay, so just trying to do it without putting your hands on the floor. Don't worry if it's a bit clunky to start off with. You'll find that as you go, things starts to smooth out a little bit. Okay. 3 for me. Just trying to keep your chest upright all the time, keeping your feet glued to the floor. Feel your core getting engaged as well. Try and keep you in position. You might find also that you're kind of shifting up the mat, or you're basically not staying still in one position. That's actually fine. Just reset yourself once you get to the outer reaches of your mat, like so. So that's 6. It's got 4 more to do, 2 more on each side. 7. Last 2. Find that you're really having to engage your core as you get to kind of the middle part. And there you go. Okay, so let's take a second. Then what we're going to do, we're going to go onto all fours. We do some fire hydrant abductions. Okay, so what that looks like is onto all fours. You're then going to take one leg out directly to the side. Just turn sort of diagonally so you might be able to see a little bit better. So you're taking your foot directly out to the side, and all you're going to do is just raise that leg as one solid block, just lifting it off the floor, trying to keep your chest parallel to the floor, so try not to twist. Okay, so let's get set. So you take one leg out. I'm just going to do 10 of these on each side. Here we go. 1. You immediately, I think, discover 2. It's harder than it looks. 3. So we're getting into some quite deep-seated, 4 deep-seated hip stabilizer muscles now. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, nice and controlled. 10. Okay, and on to the other side, switching around. Okay, so whenever you're ready, leg goes direct out to the side, just raising it up, directly up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. So you might find by the end of that, starting to burn around the outside of your hips. What we're doing there is just waking up your what are called your abductors. Okay, those are the muscles that are kind of drawing your leg away from the center. Okay, and we're going to loosen off a little bit more. So you're going to take your feet basically as pretty much as wide as you can, toes just pointing out diagonally ever so slightly, and then we're doing a standing version of a mobility exercise that we did last session, that pancake windmill when we were sitting down. We're going to be doing a standing version. Okay, so you're going to put your arms above your head, keeping your arms kind of tucked into your ears. You're then going to rotate to one side, and then pivoting at the hips, you're just going to drop down, so keeping your legs straight, scooping across the front of your toes, coming up the other side, then back the other way. And you'll feel this in your hamstrings, so we're just loosening up those hamstrings. Okay, so if you join me now, I'm just going to do 5 to each side. So 1. Just make sure you're not rounding, you're just pivoting at the hip, hinging at the hips. Keeping the legs straight. You'll know if they're doing this properly because you'll feel it kind of the emphasis shifting from one side of your hamstring over to the other hamstring. I think that's 4. 6. 1 more. Keeping those arms by your ears, just hinging at the hips. Okay, 2 more. I'm clicking all over the place, my ankle just clicked as well. And relax. Okay, drop your hands, shake your legs out a little bit, just let the blood get back to where it needs to be. And then let's do one last kind of warm-up exercise, and it's very straightforward. It's actually picked it to try and wake up the chest a little bit, but it's basically just getting off the floor. So you're just going to start down on your front, and all you're going to do is just peel yourself off the floor and step up. It's literally that simple. And then go back down onto the floor, but as you're coming down, what I'd like you to do is put both hands on the floor and then sort of lower your chest down, because the emphasis that we're trying to get is into your pectorals and the front of your shoulders, etc. Okay, so just going to get off the floor 10 times. It's that simple. So you're pushing up first, then you bring your feet into it, stepping up, and then slowly back down. Just taking your time, there's no rush here. It's not like a circuits class or something. But just making sure you're pushing up and lowering down in a sort of press up type situation. This is number 3 for me. 4, what we're doing here is just getting our heart rate up again. So pushing off the floor like a press up. Just kind of freestyling the rest of the way. So halfway. 6. 7. 3 more. Starting to get a bit of a blow on now. Hey, don't worry if you're not looking particularly elegant when you're doing this. I'm suddenly feeling a little bit self-conscious about what I'm doing. Hey, that's fine. I don't think there is any way of making this exercise pretty. It's just getting off the floor. Okay, then back to the start. Yeah, and relax. And just throwing an extra rep, just because you have to get off the floor. So there we go, that's kind of like our warm up, and then we're just going to do our final looseners. Just quickly check what's behind you, one hand to the wall, just leg swings forward and back, just kicking a little higher with each one, loosening off the hamstrings. Hamstrings are going to get a bit of a blasting in this session. So it's really important, they're nice and warm and nice and loose. Okay, now onto the other side. Again, always just checking behind you. I've nearly put my foot through the wall before on camera. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and then across the body, do it facing the wall. I'll do it facing the camera. Just kicking across yourself. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Don't worry if you're finding these ones actually a little bit hard, because we were basically doing a similar thing with those bihydrant abductions. So using the same muscle, waking it up again. 7, 8, 9, and 10. And final ones. Drawing your arms forwards, keeping them, bringing them in close to your ears. If you're really struggling to bring them in close to your ears, you'd stretch, my friends. If you want to know what stretches, there is an upper body stretch routine in the training resources area on the website. So have a look there. And final ones, just turn across the chest. Just opening up the chest, pectorals, and then we're going to go into our first exercise. Okay, so what you're going to need for this first one is a couple of heavier weights, but you also need to be able to press them above your head. So I'll show you what we're doing, and then you can kind of make a decision as to what you want to do. So we start in kind of like a split stance position. Okay, so I'll demonstrate without the weights just to begin with. Waist, see my knee. So you're down on one knee, you're going to have the weights up to your shoulder, and then what you're going to do, so similar to when we're doing the reverse lunge as part of the warm-up, the power is going through the front leg, power is going through that front heel. This back leg is kind of just there for balance. Okay, so what you're going to do is a straight up and down, so driving through the front foot till we get to the top, And once you're at the top, you're going to press. Then it's back down again. Drive through the front foot and press. So hopefully relatively straightforward. Okay, so as I say, you're going to need to press above your head. We're going to do 12 of these on each side. Okay, so you're going to need to press above your head 12 times, 24 times in total. So you might want to be a little bit conservative with the weight. You can always up the weight when we do this second time. Okay, but let's just move the weights up to our shoulders, and here we go. So we're driving up through the front foot, then we press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, halfway, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, last one, and 12. Back down to the bottom. Now just take your time swapping over. Give the arms a quick shake. Get the blood back in the shoulders. Pretty much straight back into it. Okay, so grabbing your weights again. Onto the other side, just remember driving through the heel. Weights up to your shoulders. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, halfway, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, and 12. Good, well done. See what I mean? Shoulders get tired by the end of that one. Whew. Okay, so you can move the weights to the side for now. We're going to be using the mini band. Okay, so you're just going to pop this above your knees. I'm just going to lie on our side. So we're going into a clamshell, which we've done previously in the series right at the beginning. Okay, so you're drawing your hips to 90 degrees. So you're drawing your knees up in line with your hips. You're going to keep your feet clamped together. Okay, so we're going to do 2 exercises. First one is a straightforward clam, like we've done previously. So you're just going to relax in the upper body. You keep the feet glued together, and you pull the knee outwards. And you're kind of rotating outwards. Well, just remember with a clamshell, if you start to pull this hip backwards, you start to rotate in the torso, you're going too far. It's a straight kind of up and down. It might not be a dramatically big exercise. Trying to get into the muscle around the outside of your hip. If you start to rotate, you start to engage your quad, and that starts to kind of take over. Okay, so it's not a dramatic big exercise. That's the first one. The second one, okay, you're releasing your feet and you're raising the whole leg up together again, not going too far. Okay, so it's probably to the same extent as the clamshell. So it's raising straight up like that, using slightly, well, pretty much the same muscles in a slightly different way. Okay, so we're going to do 10 of each, then we'll swap sides. All right, so just relaxing the upper body. First one is the clamshell, so keep the feet glued together, and here we go. So 1, not a big exercise. 2, but I promise you it will get tiring. 3, if not already. 4, 5, really, really important. 6, and really great hip stabilizer exercise. This important for all endurance athletes. 7, you might have even had this as part of rehab for an injury. 9, 10. Okay, so stay on this side. You're now going to release the feet, and you're going to lift the knee and the whole leg as one solid block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 and 10. Good. Okay, so I'm just going to swap over onto the other side. So lying onto your other side, relaxing the upper body, knees up to feet, hips up, hips to 90 degrees, so your knees in line with your hip. You glue the feet together. We're starting off with the clamshell, just really chill in the upper body. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't worry if you find it a little bit harder, 5 on one side than the other. 6. If you do find it particularly difficult on one side, throw in an extra set at the end of the session. 9, 10, just on that weaker side, okay, just to try and maintain a greater sense of muscular balance, okay. Right, then we're going straight up, so release the feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good stuff. Right. So hopefully a bit more graceful in that, but just seconds to get rid of the band. Okay. And what you're going to do, you're going to need for a set of the lighter weights. So we're going to be doing a form of chest press, but slightly jazzed up a little bit. Okay, so grabbing your weights, I'll show you what we're doing first and then you can select. So we're going into a leg bridge first. So what that means is, it's an exercise that will be familiar to you, not perhaps done in this fashion. So drawing your heels really close into your bum, what you're going to do is going to push your hips up like that and hold it throughout. Alright, so I'll demonstrate the full exercise of what we're going to do. Alright, so shift that over a little bit more. So draw your elbows up in line with your shoulders and your hands directly over your elbows. So wrists over elbows, elbows in line with the shoulders. So what you're going to do, you're going to push up with your hips like that. And just from here, it's just a chest press. Pushing up in front of your chest. So make sure the weights aren't in front of your face, but in front of your chest. And then back down. Okay, so it's just like that. So we're going to do 15, 1, 5, like that. Alright, so get ready to go. So draw your heels in close to your bum. Alright, then we're going to drive through those heels, push the bum up. Weights are level with your chest. Elbows are in line with your shoulders. And we start to press up, breathing out as we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep those hips up. So squeeze the bum, push those hips up to the sky. 9. Should start to burn. 10. 11. Breathing out as you press up. 12. Breathing in on the way down. 13. Hips up. 14. And last one. 15. All the way back down. Good, good. Okay, cool. So moving on to the next one very quickly. Probably using the same weights, I would say. I'm going to do deadlift with the bent over row. So the key thing I want to emphasize about this exercise, okay, is I don't want you rounding your back like that as you're lowering down. So you're going to take your feet to hip width apart. You're going to use the weights in a second, but I'll just show you. And then basically what you're going to do is you're going to allow the weights to draw you down to the level kind of just with your shins. And then this is the point where your feet will start to round. So what you're going to do here is just retract your shoulders a little bit so they sit in the socket and they're level with kind of your clavicle, okay? So you're not allowing them to fall in front of you. So this is the position that you're going to be in when you get down to here. And then what you're going to do is row into your stomach. Okay, so you'll see the difference. If I row into my chest, my shoulders shrug. If I row into my stomach, the shoulders stay down, and you're going to be utilizing kind of more of your back muscles rather than these upper trap muscles, which we kind of want to keep disengaged because we're always engaged when we're at our laptops all day long. So I want to keep them depressed and get more into the back muscles with this. Okay, so it's a deadlift going down into a row and then coming back. As you're coming back up, I want you to really push the hips forwards because it's this kind of final third of the exercise where you're pushing the hips forwards that the glutes start to really engage. So I want you to really exaggerate it. Okay, so I'm just going to demonstrate with the weights now. Okay, so starting with the feet hip width. Don't worry about doing this, I'm just going to demonstrate. Knuckles forwards. Okay, allow the weights to draw you down. But remember, keeping those shoulders in neutral, not allowing them to drag us down. And once we get to this position, throwing into the stomach, and we come back up and really kind of push the hips forwards. Okay, really exaggerating it so we get the glutes involved. Let's back down, row, push the hips forwards like that. Okay, so we're going to do 15 of these, 1-5. Let's get ready to go. So grab your weights, knuckles facing forwards, shoulders always in neutral, not rounding. And here we go, so following down, into a row into our stomach. 1. Nice and smooth, nice and slow. 2. 3. 4. 6. 7. 8. Well over halfway now. 9. Those shoulders retracted, don't round. 10. 5 more. Here we go. 11. 12. 3 more. Really push those hips forwards. 13. 14. Final one. Here we go. 15. And back up to the top. Good. Well done. Okay, so we've just got one last exercise in the circuit. So for this one, you need a very light weight, or maybe not even any weight at all. I'll show you what we're up to, but I've only got sort of 3 kilos here. So you're probably only gonna need a couple of kilos, 1 or 2 kilos really for this. So what you're gonna do, we go into a side plank. So starting off as we always should. So feet are in line with the elbow, okay? You're gonna have the weight just resting on the side of your thigh for now. What you're gonna do, go up into the side plank position. And once you're in this position, you're all set, start to raise the weight up to your hand is in line with your shoulder. Not going too far, just parallel. Back down, and up, and just smoothly transitioning like that. So we're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. British expression, if any of our international friends are watching that, it means you're doing 2 things at once. Always have to kind of be aware of that. But what we're going to do, guys, okay, we're going to hold that side plank for 45 seconds. So this is going to be challenging, all right? 45 seconds on each side. All right, so get yourself set up in the side plank position to begin with, making sure your ankles are in line with your elbow. Place the weight just onto your outside of your thigh. And get the timer ready. 45 seconds in 3, 2, 1, up you go. So get set first, make sure your chest is facing forwards, you're not rounding in on yourself, and once you're set, you start to raise to the top, just pause, then slowly back down. Just keep transitioning, working those shoulder muscles, you're also working your obliques, and abductors and adductors. Just kind of hold the plank. We're well over halfway already. There's nice smooth movements. 15 seconds to go. So learn to breathe. And coming up. 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, and okay, quick little switch around. Make sure the feet line with the elbow. And up we go again. Okay, so getting settled. Raise. So Stay focused, make sure your chest is facing forwards and you're not starting to round in on yourself. Just toppled over. Smoothly transitioning. Okay, another 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, good. Right then. So a very quick swig of water, and then we're going into the second round, starting off with those kind of kneeling split squats to a shoulder press. So if you didn't have the weight right the first time, then you might want to change it for the second round. Okay, alright guys, let's just battle through, get it done. Okay, so remember, starting kind of in this kneeling position, weight goes through this front heel. Just remember that, okay? If you start to lean back, you're taking the emphasis. It's a single leg exercise. That's kind of the goal anyway. So driving through this front leg, driving through that front heel. Okay, let's get ready to go then. So grabbing your weight, drawing it up to your shoulders. Here we go. 12 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, halfway, 7, 8, 9, last 3, 10, 11, last one, 12. Okay, weights down. Give your arms a shake. Slowly changing over to the other side. Just giving yourself a second to catch your breath and to get the blood back into your shoulders. Then we get ready to go again. Okay, here we go. Weights up to your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, halfway, 7, 8, 4 more, 9, 10, last 2, 11, final 1, 12, and back down to beginning, and done. Oh, that is hard. Second time around. Okay, weights to the side, grabbing your mini band, get ready for some clamshells again, popping it above your knees, lying down on the side. Okay, so hips to 90. All right, relaxing the upper body, keep the feet glued together. Here we go for 10, 1. 5, 6, 7. Remember to try not to go too far. 8. I'd support myself doing it. 4, 9. Just about there. Sorry, 10 on each side. Finish at 10. Then you unglue your feet, and then we start to abduct. 1, 2. Remember, notice if you find this core particularly hard on one side or the other. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Quick switch onto the other side. Relaxing the body, hips up to 90. Here we go. 3 feet are glued together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whoa, I was getting tired on those ones. Okay, just the abductions. 1, 2, try not to overdo it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, okay. Daintily taking the mini band off. And got a couple of exercises left in the core. And then we are done. So grabbing your weights again into the leg bridge position. So draw your heels right up close to your bum. Okay. Maybe a touch more than it was last time. Okay. Heels up to your bum. Get the weights kind of ready. So elbows in line with your shoulders. I'm going to drive through the heels, push your hips up. We press above our chest, not our flex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Elbows always coming out level with your shoulders. 7, 8. Breathing out as you press up. Breathing in on the way down. 9. Hips up, remember. 11. Be there. 12. 13. 14. And 15. Down. Good. Okay, quickly up onto our feet. We've got the deadlift rows and then the core, and then we are done. Okay, so feet hip width apart, just slightly wider. Grab your weights, knuckles forwards, keeping your shoulders in neutral. So you're not kind of pulling them back. You're not rolling forwards, just keeping them in neutral like that. Okay, and then we follow the weight down. The deadlift, then we row. 1, then we push the hips forwards. Okay. 2, nice and smooth, nice and slow. 3, rowing into your stomach. 4, 5, 6. Push those hips right forwards. 7, into your stomach, and the shoulders away from the ears. 8, near there guys, keep it going. 9, 10, 5 more. 1, 2, 3, last 2, 4, and 5. Good, well done. Okay, so last exercise coming up, just a side plank with the side raise. Okay, so lying on our side of the mat, making sure your kind of ankles are in line with your shoulder again. Just going to rest the weight on top of your thigh, and we're going to get ready to go. Last exercise of the session. 3, 2, 1, up you go. Last exercise of the session, last exercises of the series. Okay, so raising up just until your hand is level with your shoulder, pausing and seizing down. Keep it going. Getting close to halfway. There we go, that's halfway already. Keep it going, keep your chest facing forwards. Try not to round in on yourself. 15 seconds left, near there. You're going 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Quick turnaround. Ready to go. Elbow in line with the heels again. Getting set up into a side plank position. Weight on just on the outside of your leg. Here we go. Up we go. Get set. Get settled. And then you start to raise. Final time through. Just about 30 odd seconds. Hard work. And then you are done. Halfway. Nice smooth movements, don't do anything jerky, don't allow the weight to kind of drop right down onto your side. Just got 15 seconds left. Remember to breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. There you go. That's your circuit. So if you want to throw in another set, you can do so. But otherwise, guys, that's the session and that's the series. So there is plenty of other kind of content on our on-demand section, and we also run a few live sessions a week. So do head to the website and check that out. We're always bringing out new stuff and always adding more content. So please do have a look, particularly if you're interested in the strength training stuff. We've got some fantastic strength workshops, diving into a little bit more depth on some of the exercises. So give that a check. But otherwise, thanks very much for your company, everybody. Really great doing these sessions with you. And hopefully we will see you on another session soon. Take care, guys. Look after yourselves. Hopefully see you soon.